Everyone thinks these are just active, colorful little fish. They're actually the easiest way to accidentally lose $5,000 in freshwater aquariums. Because while most tropical fish just swim around looking pretty, the Tropheus is a status symbol. It's one of the few freshwater species where experienced hobbyists expect to lose money and still buy them anyway. So why do people willingly drop small fortunes on what might be the hardest African cichlid to keep alive? To understand that, you have to look at the math. If you set up a basic tropical tank, you spend maybe $50 on a few fish, toss in some flakes, and move on. Try that with Tropheus, and you're essentially lighting cash on fire. You see, you cannot buy just 2 or 3 of them. Put 5 in a tank, and the dominant male will execute the second one by Tuesday, murder the third by Thursday, and leave you with a single victorious survivor sitting alone in a graveyard by Sunday. To dilute that psychotic aggression, you're forced to buy them in massive crowds. 20, 30, sometimes 40 fish at once, and at $40 to $80 per single juvenile, you're down $2,000 before you've even bought a scoop of sand. And that's where the trap opens. You spend a small fortune on a massive 5-foot tank, install dual canister filters, set up heavy wave makers to simulate crashing waves, and everything looks incredible for 2 weeks. Then you feed them the wrong food. In Lake Tanganyika, Tropheus aren't meat eaters. They spend their entire lives in shallow, wave-battered reefs, scraping microscopic algae off sunlit rocks. Evolution gave them an extremely long, delicate digestive tract built exclusively for greens. The cruel part? Standard fish food isn't poisonous. It's perfectly safe for hundreds of other tropical species, just not for Tropheus. If you feed them flakes containing high animal protein, or worse, bloodworms, their digestive tract completely jams up. Microscopic parasites naturally living in their gut suddenly explode in population, causing massive inflammation. In the hobby, this is known as Tropheus Bloat. One hobbyist in Germany reportedly lost 32 adult Tropheus in a single weekend after accidentally switching to a high-protein pellet. 32 dead fish by Monday morning. That's why veteran keepers don't gamble. They spend top dollar on specialized, pure spirulina diets imported from Europe and run automated feeding setups just to keep their digestive systems completely clean. At this point, you're probably asking, if they're this risky, why don't commercial fish farms just breed millions of them and drive the price down? Because from a business perspective, Tropheus are a terrible investment. Unlike other cichlids that drop hundreds of eggs every few weeks, a female Tropheus is a mouth brooder with a microscopic output. She holds her eggs in her mouth for a full month, refusing to eat a single bite of food until her body is completely emaciated. And after 30 days of intense labor, she spits out maybe 10 fry. 10, that's it. Because the yield is so low, large commercial farms rarely bother with them. So, if you want high-grade lineages like the Ilanga Yellow, Red Rainbow, or Kaiser Ikola, you're paying heavy import fees and overnight air freight shipping directly from Africa. In fact, keeping Tropheus isn't like keeping normal fish at all. It's more like collecting rare luxury watches. Hardcore hobbyists don't just collect species, they collect hyper-specific wild localities from isolated bays along the lake. And when you look closely at a colony, you realize you aren't just managing fish, you're watching an entire society negotiate power every single day. A healthy Tropheus colony never really sits still. One second they're grazing algae, the next they're chasing each other through massive rock fortresses. The dominant male doesn't just rule by force, he literally shifts his colors. When he takes over a territory, his body flares with electric neon bands, while defeated males instantly dim their colors to stay invisible and stay alive. When 30 Tropheus move together like that, they stop looking like 30 separate fish. They look like one single, shimmering, high-speed organism. Nobody accidentally ends up with a thriving Tropheus colony. Anyone can walk into a store and buy an expensive fish, but keeping 30 of these hyperactive, high-risk vegetarians thriving for 5 years, that's what earns real respect in the aquarium world. You aren't just running a tank, you're managing an elite biological project. Tropheus may be the most expensive, high-maintenance vegetarian in the aquarium world, but they're nowhere near the most dangerous mistake a hobbyist can make. That title belongs to a completely different predator, one that looks completely harmless in the daytime, but turns into an absolute nightmare the second you turn off the lights. There's also a hilarious mental breakdown every Tropheus owner goes through. While normal hobbyists spend hundreds of dollars buying specialized chemicals to wipe out green algae, Tropheus keepers literally pray for it. A tank lined with thick, hairy carpet algae isn't dirty to them. It's a Michelin star buffet. You completely stop seeing algae as an ugly eyesore and start treating it like free, natural insurance for your $3,000 investment. Plus, there's the ultimate patience test. If you buy young Tropheus fry to save a few bucks, don't panic when they arrive looking like boring, muddy brown nuggets with white dots. They look like budget creek fish. But as the months pass and the dominance hierarchy settles, those dull juvenile spots suddenly melt away into blazing yellow bands and crimson velvet coats. It's like buying a beat-up rust bucket and watching it slowly turn into a neon sports car right in front of your eyes. And unlike standard tropical fish that randomly float upside down after 2 or 3 years, a well-managed Tropheus colony will easily live for 12 to 15 years. You aren't just buying a weekend distraction for your desk. You're building a long-term underwater empire that will literally outlive your current car loan, your gym membership, and possibly a couple of your personal relationships. Here's another subtle trap that wipes out beginners: cleaning the tank too well. Beginners think a sterile, crystal-clear glass box with squeaky clean rocks is high quality. But if you scrub away all the organic film and beneficial biolayers from those rocks, Tropheus gets stressed out because their natural grazing playground just vanished overnight. In this world, a slightly dirty, algae-covered rock is a happy rock, and good luck trying to keep them in soft tap water. Lake Tanganyika's water is so mineral-rich and alkaline, it's practically liquid rock with a pH hovering around 9.0. If your tap water is soft, you're forced to turn your garage into a chemistry lab, mixing buffers, salts, and minerals every single week, just to recreate an ocean-like Rift Lake environment in your living room. Tropheus may be the most expensive, high-maintenance vegetarian in the aquarium world, but they're nowhere near the most dangerous mistake a hobbyist can make. And trust me, that fish has ruined far more aquariums than Tropheus ever will. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive, and click the video on your screen right now to see the top 5 fish that will secretly destroy your entire setup if you make one wrong move. This is Dark Cichlids and I'm Gravel. The main man is taking a break, so I'll be managing the channel until the boss comes back. See you in the next one.